Hey, and welcome back to Nothing But Love podcast with your girl Elsie Rodriguez, where the goal here is to always send you on nothing but love using my own personal experiences in the hopes that it helps. Amen. All right, so confirmation. So while I am very committed to bringing you more podcasts and experiences this season, sometimes I just have to do a one-on-one. You feel me? Especially because my brain has been so heavy. There's a lot of thoughts floating in there. So this is my form of creativity. This is my form of art. So sometimes your girl just has to do a one-on-one in the name of her art. Amen. So let's get into it. So I know I can't be the only one. And this topic is super appropriate because we just hit the Lunar New Year. So now we're in that fire horse energy. But the last weeks leading up to this, bruh, your girl was like shedding people, places, things, habits, all of the above, all of the above. And while I was going through the motions, I was thinking, damn, and I know I can't be the only one, right? Because sometimes we're so fixated on those moments when we're going through our challenging seasons. We're like, what the fuck is happening for us? And I know everything I've shedded thus far is for my greatest good. You feel me? Like everything, even in that, even if it didn't look like that at that moment, I knew what's up. I know what's up, right? But I'm still very much human. So I always got to question it. You feel me? Instead of just flowing. I'm not there yet, and I'm not going to lie and say I'm there, I just be flowing. No, bitch. When I'm in the trenches of it, I'm like, what in the what's happening? And I know I'm not the only one. I feel like collectively we all shed a lot, especially the final weeks leading up to the Lunar New Year. So, anyways, I started thinking to myself because sometimes while I try to ride the high wave, sometimes I get in my head and damn, why is this happening to me? I'm love. I be showing love. Why is this happening? And then I started saying to myself, I'm getting tested because I promote myself or I go around telling people or the universe rather that I lead with love. I'm love. I love unconditionally. I love under any circumstance. I feel like most of the time I'm presented with a challenging circumstance to determine whether or not I'm really about that life, right? I feel like the moment you deem yourself something, the universe is like, okay, so love under this situation or see the good in this situation. Can you see the light here in all this darkness? Sometimes it's back to back, right? Then I started thinking the reason why I choose to sit with myself under these circumstances because my goal is always to look at it from a new perspective, not no victim mindset. Just okay, if this is happening, where's the opportunity, right? It kind of goes back. I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. And in the book, it claims that in each misfortune, there's some sort of opportunity. So while I was in the midst of that shedding, I really tried to sit with myself and think about where's the opportunity here? What's the different perspectives that I'm not seeing? And it's way easier said than done because when you're in your feelings, maybe you don't feel like fucking looking for the opportunity. You're like, damn, why? You just perhaps in that moment you're fixated on all the negative. But anyways, after thinking it through in that way, I thought to myself, maybe I was never being tested for the amount of unconditional love I could ooze. Maybe that was never the test. Maybe the test was how much I was going to unconditionally love myself. Was I going to love myself so deep that I would go through this discomfort, that I would go through the challenge, right? Because sometimes change is challenging, sometimes change is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So then I started thinking, perhaps that is the test. How bad am I going to love myself through the discomfort? Or even if it's uncomfortable, even if the change of circumstance brings discomfort, brings a little challenge, even brings a little heartache. Am I willing to love myself that much? That's a good aha moment because I wasn't thinking about it like that. The test was never to determine how bad I could love someone else or love in a challenging situation. The test was always how deep I'm gonna love myself, and I didn't even look at it like that. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice little twist on things. And then, of course, that led me down a rabbit hole. And I couldn't get this question out of my head. So, because I've said and I've asked myself this question for days, I wanted to share it with you all and ask it to you. I'm even going to cut up a clip and we're going to put it in the comments because I feel like it was an important question to be asked. So, the question after reflecting and thinking about or seeing the challenge or the tests from the universe in that new way, I started to think about the ways that I love myself, right? The ways I show love through my different actions daily, through what I decide to spend my time on, what I decide to spend my focus on. That is all areas of loving yourself. You feel me? Like every moment you decide to live, every moment you choose to live, and the choices you make contribute to the love within, right? So I started thinking to myself, when was the last time I committed to something? I'm not going to say it in the way I was thinking. I'm going to ask you, when was the last time you committed to something outside of you? This commitment had nothing to do with anyone else. Whether you did it or you didn't do it, it had no other impact. And I know some of us can argue that there's cause and effect for everything. So even if you decided not to go through with the commitment, it could have some sort of impact. However, for the sake of my question, let's eliminate all that. For the sake of my question is, when was the last time you committed to yourself and followed through without it impacting any other party? Right? Because I feel like sometimes it's easier to commit to other folks, right? Because they hold you accountable, or you just don't want to let someone down, especially as a parent, right? It's easy. Sometimes it's way easy to commit to my child because I know she's counting on me, so I can't let her down, right? So that standard that she has of me is big enough for me to fulfill that commitment. But I started thinking, when was the last time I just committed just for me? When was the last time? How did it look like? What did you do? You know what I mean? When I could even argue that this sitting here and just sharing this thought is a commitment to self, and it is because it lingered in my head for days. And man, maybe I just got to ask this question to the masses because maybe we're not thinking about it that deep, and we should, because right now I'm in the spirit of alchemizing all this holy energy. We just had a Lunar New Year. We are in Ramadan. We are in Lent, I believe, for the Catholics. I feel like now is the time to really sit and reflect and really be disciplined and really think about what needs to go, who needs to go, what habits we need to focus on, what we need to focus on, what the path we need to focus on. You get what I'm saying? I feel like this big energy is out here for us to utilize it in the most beautiful way. But I feel like there's no way for us to utilize or alchemize it if we don't think of these hard questions. And for some, it could be simple. I could be like, girl, I always commit to myself and I follow through. And maybe for some, it won't be. And if you're a part of the sum that it is a rather difficult question, then I challenge you to sit with it further and not only sit with it further, but make a commitment just for you and follow through. And you're probably wondering, damn, girl, with all that said, what's your commitment? My commitment right now is I am most certainly participating in Ramadan, and it is my second time doing this. This is for me, it's not for the weak. People that have been raised in it probably feel like it's no big deal, but this shit, it is not this shit. This practice is it's a little bit tough, and we're only in the beginning days, but I'm going to follow through. And despite me not following any particular religion, I do appreciate certain nuances of religion. And this one, especially, I consider it a spiritual exercise. I feel like sometimes you just got to do something to prove to God you are worthy of this next level, that you have the discipline within, that you are ready to look inside yourself, dig deep in yourself, eliminate things that you do out of habit, right? Because we're talking about fasting here and specifically in this scenario. And sometimes we eat because it's just habit or it's there. So my train of thought is sometimes you got to show God or prove, or you're called to tell God, look, like I'm worth that next level. I got it in me. You get what I'm saying? And again, for those who've practiced this regularly, have been brought up this way, it's probably not a big deal. But for me, it's that deep. For me, I'm ready to go to my next level, but I also feel like I need to inherit this level of discipline that I still struggle with. And it's nothing new for me. I know myself. So I know that's what it is. But I also know I come from a creator that has limitless potential. Therefore, I'm always trying to dig that up within myself. I believe if I just stay the course and I stay focused, I most certainly can fulfill it. And I'm never doing something for the outside reward. I feel like the reward is going to be within myself, that I would have proved to myself that I'm worthy of this next level and that I can do anything that I really put my mind to, even if it feels hard, even if I feel sluggish, or even if I feel like I don't want to. You get what I'm saying? Because it all sounds good until you start actually fucking doing it. And then it's fucking tough. You know what I'm saying? We all up here. Everybody's a fucking coach. Everybody's a motivational speaker. It's all sounds fucking good, but the work ain't for the weak. It is, and I'm gonna stand on that shit. And my ultimate goal is always to come and my ultimate goal is always to come out here and speak the truth and tell the truth and really fight for that best part of me. So that's where I'm at. This is where my brain has been at. And sometimes I got to take a moment. Like I said, I am committed to bringing more experiences and podcasts. I definitely got a lot of fun things lined up. But sometimes I need to just dump my brain. I need to just say what I'm thinking in that moment and say exactly where I'm at. Just so y'all understand that y'all really on this journey with me, that you guys are always going to see the unfold in real time. You know what I'm saying? In real time, for sure. So I'm excited for the unfold. I'm excited for this new horse energy year. I'm excited for this holy month. I can't believe that I went my whole life without realizing this month is so holy or this energy really exists during this time. I didn't know that. And it sounds silly, but I didn't know that. I can't believe I always missed out. And now that I'm participating, I feel it. I feel the energy. I feel it all around me. I feel the shift. I feel like, damn, I really can do this. I really have an opportunity to spiritually level up. And I'm not the only one that has this opportunity. I feel like a lot of us do. All of us do. We have this opportunity, alchemizing this energy that's all around us right now with all these different things happening, even astrologically, right? We have this opportunity to really awaken these gods and goddesses that live within us to really level up internally. Amen. And I feel like that's the ultimate name of the game. That's exactly what we're supposed to do here. And everything else will follow. We'll live a life that oozes that. You know what I mean? But yeah, this one, what is it called? What do they call it? I was gonna say oldie but goodie. No, it's not an oldie. This was a short. It's short and sweet. It's right to the point. It's exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's in my brain. Exactly what I needed to do for this episode. Amen. So while this was a brief one, I hope you heard the message here. I hope you feel me. I hope you understand that pivotal came to my brain. We're in a pivotal moment. We're in a moment where if we utilize the energy around us correctly, man, it could lead to some shit beyond expectation, beyond imagination. I mean, and that's exactly where I'm at. So I'm going to leave it here, short but sweet. But I hope you feel the love. And as always, I'm sending you all nothing but love. Thank you.